Oh, no, that's cool.
Brock and I are...
Lady Smith, what the fuck? Someone left their baby. Go Team Venture!
So, hi, welcome to Binge Buddies. 9 Nights with Freddy. I don't know why I always pause on that. I keep forgetting the name of our own show. I'm your host, always Brian Dressel. With me, as always, is Matt, Zombie Dog. Waiting for my page to load. I hope it has good stuff on it. It does not. No, not at all. Multi-purpose garden snips. Dykes.
I like to snip. Wait, hang on a minute. No, that sounds wrong.
Just make sure you don't want any kids first.
Yeah,
I don't. Like, that's actually a good point.
Yeah. Well, then perfect. We also have Joel Rototiller DeWitt.
Is that the thing that Jason has in Friday the 13th, Part 7?
I looked up for Matt, I looked up what is the worst gardening tool ever, and for Joel, I looked up what is the most dangerous gardening tool ever. He got Rototiller. I don't know what a rototiller is, to be perfectly honest.
It sounds like there's a giant blade on there somewhere that just spins around.
I would agree with that. I will say this answer has like all of the upvotes. Everybody agreed. Rototiller, super dangerous.
Well, tillers usually have a bunch of metal splines, so like giant needles. So yeah, I bet it's plenty dangerous.
I'm looking at a photo of this thing. Oh, one of these things. Okay, yeah, that you don't want to put your foot under that.
Is it like the lawn darts of gardening tools?
No, like this is like a legit gardening tool. Like they have people need these things. But yeah, that will absolutely fuck you up.
Yeah, rotating blades. That's what we're looking at.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ryan is still not here this week. He said it's because he had to go to Disney on Ice. I think it's just because he didn't want to talk about this fucking movie. Both valid excuses, if I'm being honest. Family stuff happens. That's fair. And this movie, wow.
It happened.
Wow. It is in high contention for worst movie we've watched at Binge Buddies, which is... We've watched some bad movies. When you watch long franchises don't stay good. That's just a law of nature. This is like Hobbs and Shaw, Halloween 6 director's cut or producer's cut, the bad one, the theatrical cut.
Cut, yeah.
Hobbs and Shaw, Halloween 6, one of the Resident Evil movies that we all hated. I think it was 5, the bottle episode one.
Friday the 13th, Part 5.
No, because even I kind of liked that one a little bit because it had that Wolfie's Just Fine song in it. It's like
It didn't have it in it.
It still reminds me of it, and it makes me like the movie more. I'm just saying, I was able to defend that one horribly, but still a little bit. This is in that pantheon of movies we all hate.
Yeah.
So The Office, another long series, there's the episode where I think Jim and Pam get married, and grandma or something like that was talking about a TV show that she couldn't turn off. And the line always stuck with me. I had to sit there while it happened to me. Is
that your feeling on Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 remake?
A little bit.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with some positive things about this movie because I'm not going to have a lot of that to say throughout.
I'm going to say there is there a positive?
There is. I have two very strong positives. One of them comes with a hefty helping of negativity with it, but then there's one that is just out and right positive. Casting director fucking crushed their job. Whoever the casting director was on this thing, they nailed it, man. Casting for like Rooney Mara and her mom, looked like her mom. That was dead on casting. The people she found for this movie, I'm saying...
I will disagree slightly, considering the fact that the first high school team we're introduced to looks fucking 40.
Yeah, but that's always been the thing with Nightmare on Elm Street. That's always been the thing with most slasher films. Like the idea that a 40-year-old high school student's a thing, I have gotten so over that by this point in my love of horror films, because otherwise every single horror film has that exact same problem.
No, all the other ones, they look 30. This one looked 40.
Okay, you're splitting hairs here, and I'm like, nah, it's fine. It was Lisa Fields was the casting director on this thing, but
You mean I can't play a 20-year-old, Matt?
No.
no,
But
but I can with my whiting beard. But yeah, like Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy, that's a solid casting choice. Did he nail the part? Not really.
No.
But on paper, I get why he would be your Freddy choice. Pretty good choice. Rooney Mara, great. Kyle Gallner, fantastic actor. I love him. He's great. Doesn't do a lot in this movie. Katie Cassidy, there's her first real misstep. Katie Cassidy has driven me nuts for years. She is not my favorite actor. I'm sure she's a lovely person, and I know a lot of people are big fans of her. She doesn't work for me, mostly because of her time in Arrow. And I don't blame Katie Cassidy there. I guess I am a little bit unfairly, like, her character was written like just absolute shit. So, woof. But then any movie that puts Clancy Brown in it automatically gets some points, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Just some. Just a
But
few.
just, like, again, he doesn't do anything in it, really.
Mm-mm.
He's
No, he
wasted. Like, a lot of, like, whatever potential there was in this film, it was wasted.
Yeah. And then we also had Thomas Dekker, who he was John Connor in the Sarah Connor Chronicles, so he always gets a little bit of favor from me there because, you know, if you're a Terminator or something, I will like you just a little bit. See my love of Jai Courtney. I don't love Jai Courtney. I do like him as Boomerang, though. He's really good.
I'm going to say, him in the Suicide Squad, he's amazing.
He's actually good in Suicide Squad. He's probably
That's true, yeah.
him and Margot Robbie are the best things in Suicide Squad. Movie's terrible, but they're good. But yeah, no, in the Suicide Squad, he's barely in it, but he was good. That's about all I got, though. And then I'll give you my other good thing from this movie of something I thought it was doing, and I'm like, okay, I'm into this. I remember when I was watching in theaters because my wife was very good about her NDAs and didn't tell me anything about the movie. So I didn't know any plots going into it. As the movie's going on, we start getting this subplot that, you know, the only reason the parents went ham, burned this man to death, was because their kids told them that he was abusing them. Abuse is never fully laid out, but you guess it's sexual abuse just based on Polaroids and like where it happens. They don't fully ever blatantly say it, but it's pretty heavily implied. Yeah. As the movie's going on, you find out they're kids. They might have been lying. And the kids are really afraid they've been lying because some magic fuckery has made them forget everything. All of them have forgotten everything. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever. So did they get
trauma? Like, if it's like actual trauma, you can put like mental blocks on and stuff
one or
like
two
that.
could, but an entire classroom full of kids not even remembering that they knew each other, one or two of them, yes. All of them, get the fuck off. That's just not how it works. But either way, say that it did work for the argument of the film. The reason Freddy's coming after them is because they got him killed when he didn't deserve it. Mm-hmm. I'm into that. That's actually an interesting take on the Freddy story. I think that's that gives him the reason why he's going after these kids and not after their parents, because the parents did it, but they only did it because the kids told him a story. He didn't do it right when they were kids, wait till they grew up because he actually liked them as kids. There's so much you can kind of dig into that. I'm like, this wasn't, the execution is garbage, don't get me wrong, but that plot line wasn't bad. Actually, that's a pretty interesting plot line. And then they go, no, never mind. He's wanting to kill us because we told the truth, and that's what he was doing. I mean, well, then what the fuck was the point of that half hour?
Yeah, because they even show the scene where they come with the pitchforks and torches and burn him alive and all that. And he is terrified and very convincing that he is terrified and doesn't know why this is happening to him.
Yeah, like when he's at his door and like slamming the door, whatever you think I did, I didn't do. Like he's selling that very, very well. And it's like, okay, this was an interesting take on Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm interested. I'm into this. And then they pull the rug and it's like, well, fuck off. It's like the only thing you had going for you, man. So that's my list of positivity. There was a good idea that they fucked up and failed with. The rest of the movie is absolute shit. It's just, borderline unwatchable. One of my notes is, oh, fuck, I realized I haven't been paying attention for the last 15 minutes. Like, and I didn't go back. I'm not going to go figure out what I missed. I saw this once in theaters. I forgot it existed, and then I had to watch it again now. And, well, I didn't forget it existed, obviously. I have a prop from it here. In fact, we even have wallpaper in our kitchen that is from Nancy's bedroom in this thing because they had leftovers, and my wife took it home because the set dresser said she could take it. So like, this movie has had a very large impact on my life, but I don't like it. It's real bad. It's real bad.
Yeah.
That's my rant.
It's hard to think about where to start with this, just because it is a lasagna of garbage, and how do you split the different layers apart to nitpick at it? I mean, you could start with Freddy itself, which you talk about Jackie Earl Haley. My sense is that they saw him as Rorschach and went, "Oh, he can have a gravelly voice."
Rorschach, and then like
that's why.
And then Little Children, I think he did right before this, like where he played a pedophile again, like.
I don't know that one, but I do vaguely remember, like, after Watchmen came out, he was kind of the big, we'll cast him in this, we'll cast him in that, we'll cast him in a whole bunch of stuff. It just kind of felt like he exploded in, like, you know, he was Freddy Krueger, he was in a bunch of other stuff. I think he did, like, a few TV things as well.
The RoboCop remake.
Yeah, the RoboCop remake. Just... He was better in that than he was in this.
I think that's one of the more disappointing parts about this movie, is because I think he could have done justice to that character. I think he can have the kind of presence, maybe not the kind of manic stuff that Robert Englund had, but this was trying to tact more to serious, more to grounded in some weird way. And they just... He has no personality. There's no humor whatsoever. The stuff he says is creepy and gross in a way that I don't want to be creeped out or grossed out about. It's bad.
There's something about the Nightmare movies, and I think this is kind of like when we were talking with Ryan, who couldn't be here. He's like, I think after watching this one, you might start to like 5 and 6 more. I'm like, no, I'm still gonna fucking hate those movies. I just hate this one more. But I do understand what he's saying to a degree. I appreciate the level of fun they were still trying to have.
Yeah.
Whether or not it was successful, I think is up for debate, and I would argue no, that's not successful. But
the problem is they're trying to have fun with a character that in this film is a pedophile.
Yeah.
He is a child molester. Going back to the original idea of like, we'll have him as a child molester. Well, actually, that's going to be a tough sell. We'll make him a child killer because, you know, that's
still bad, but not gross. Like, I mean, it's still gross, but you know what I'm saying. Like, there's that extra level of like, fuck this guy.
And then there's different fun with that character, giving him that background. It's just like, ugh. There's just something really icky about the film. There's drips off the screen as well that just like this is the ickiness.
Yeah, there's a. It's hard to bring up the words for it, because it's silly saying it in terms of compared to child murder, but there's an extra level of like unsavory muck and grossness when you're dealing with somebody like that, where it's actually child molestation. Like it's a removing of innocence that is particularly grotesque.
Yeah, and then like. It makes it worse that he's successful in killing them later when they're older now. Like it just makes that sting more in a way that's not entertaining. Like, you ruin their childhoods and then you murder them when they're teenagers. Like this is just like you're just the worst bad guy, and not in a fun way or a way like I want to see you get defeated. I just don't want to watch your movie.
Well, I don't even find him interesting. Like
no.
that's the just as much of a problem is that there's no interesting hook or angle or rationale. It's just gross.
Yeah,
just
and
gross.
and that's I think why I was enjoying the failed plot line so much, because that was making him interesting. Like the whole like you killed me when I did nothing wrong. I just wanted to play games. I thought I was being a good teacher or a good a reliable adult in your life, and then you get me murdered for that. Like that was interesting. Like I really wish they'd just stuck with it.
I start to feel like his, like, when we first see him in that sort of flashback, there's him with the camera, and there's like he's got almost like an assistant or something with him, and it's almost like started making me think, oh, maybe it wasn't him that did it. Maybe it was the assistant who was the. Oh no, you're just gonna undo that really quickly. Okay, well that was a pointless fucking plot line.
And then the design of Freddy is rough. He just looks like a skinned otter, is what I would go with.
I saw a review that said he looks like a pizza.
Yeah, okay, pizza, maybe a skinned otter with a pizza on its face. But like, I remember Ryan getting very upset when we were watching part 6 and just going like, the makeup is just bad here. He's just wearing a mask. I'm like, well, it certainly looks better than it does in the remake.
Yeah,
there's makeup mixed with CG, and it just doesn't ever fully work.
I see Jackie Earle Haley's face a little too much.
Yeah,
I think that's the problem to me.
It's there too much, and then it's also not there in weird things where they could have done something cool where it's like it's a nightmare, so you never really fully get a look at him, even though it's still him. But they don't.
It also feels very inconsistent. Like, one minute it's like he does look really burnt, and then the next minute his skin is almost like just like a smooth, almost like a skin graft over the top. And it's just like the makeup of it. Like, I don't know if they did that intentionally. Like, oh, well, it's the dream world. It doesn't look the same all the time. But no other part of the film told me that that's what they were doing, so I'm just going to assume that they had a shit continuity-wise on the makeup. Like, it just, I don't know. It just felt very inconsistent. Like, you know, one minute it's really kind of like textured, and then the next minute it just seemed very smooth.
It kind of looks like a pre-rendered effect at times. Like, what is happening here?
And it's funny you mentioned that it's just inconsistency on that, because most of the movie feels very intentional and thought out.
Yeah,
bad ideas, but like they had a plan and they executed on it.
Yeah, and I don't agree with any of the plans, but they did have a plan. I'll give you that much. The biggest thing that I think
the dreams,
were they good?
What? How? No, absolutely not. They're weirdly well lit.
Yeah,
and a lot of soft tones.
Which I will say I appreciate, because my wife worked in set deck, and because they're so well lit, I get to see the sets she worked on. So that's cool.
I liked how Brian's appreciation for this movie veers entirely into, this has been good for my family.
It's been good for my family, and I love my wife. But there was just like shitness that really bothers me, and like I put a lot of what I really don't like in this movie solely on the shoulders of Samuel Bayer. He's the director of this. He didn't really have a voice of his own at all. Like, you look at his career, he was a big music video director. I'm like, that tracks. Some of them can turn into great directors. See, like, I was going to say Zack Snyder, but that's up for debate. But like, he's at least has a visual style of his own. Like, he has his own voice. Whether or not you like it, that's totally up for debate, and I think both sides have valid arguments. This guy does not have his own voice. And it comes down to, like, he just starts recreating shots out of the original, but worse. So, like, we have, forgive me.
That was one of the things that I picked up on in this film. It's like a lot of the quote-unquote interesting things that happens with this, it's just ripping out of the original films.
Like, we have that original dream kill with, I forget her name, but the one who, like, floats through the room and gets murdered because he's the rotating room.
Yeah.
Looks terrible.
Done boring because it's CGI. And it just and it looks like CGI. And then you have the body bag later on, and it's just like, oh, that comes out of nowhere though. It's just like, oh, we haven't had a reference to the original film in a while. Oh, let's just throw the body bag in then.
Yeah,
and they try to do something, like, they try to pull the rug over you with, like, oh, well, Katie Cassidy's going to be the main character. It's like, yeah, but we know she's not. I mean, like, you literally have the main, like, they changed everyone's character's name apart from Nancy.
Yeah.
If you're gonna try do the rug pull of, like, saying, oh, look, Nancy's actually the main character. Yeah, we know that. We've seen the other films. We know that the main character is someone called Nancy. If you're gonna change all the names, change all the fucking names. Don't leave a Nancy in there, then pretend that she's not the main character when we know she is.
And especially, like, punch in on her name tag. Like, there's Nancy. Remember Nancy? Here she is. It's like, okay, so we know she's the main character.
And then when we start following Katie Cassidy for about 20 minutes, half an hour, we're like, well, she's gonna die. She's gonna die at some point. Come on, just get her killed already.
I honestly think it's only like 5 minutes. It's just so poorly written. It feels like forever.
It felt long. Like I remember sitting there going, just thinking, is this been like? This feels like it's been half an hour now.
I did enjoy the fake out of her returning to bed and finding out she's still in the dream. Like that felt like a kind of good Freddy moment. Like the fooled you, dumb line. But I'm like, oh, okay, I like that. Like I actually thought she was out of it for a second. So that was kind of a interesting thing, I guess. I'm trying to give this movie something.
I didn't though. Like it got to the point where I was just like, well, you're gonna have a jump scare at some point because I know you're setting something up. So you've not done it here. You've not done it here. Well, she's still in the dream then, and it got to be that predictable. It was like because you could sense that it's like, well, they're going for a jump scare here, so it's gonna be coming. So until we've had that jump scare, they're still in the dream, and it just like it ruined it for me because it was just so obvious. Everything was just so telegraphed. Like,
I think I'm just trying to give it a hit where I can.
So am I, but I'm giving it the other kind of hit.
It's fair. I will say Thomas Dekker did a good job. Thomas Dekker did a good job in that sequence, like his freaking out. Like I don't think Thomas Dekker's a bad actor though. So like I don't think he really phoned any of this in. Like I think he did all right. I don't think he did as well as the guy in the first one, like who was legitimately terrified by his girlfriend floating through the air and just like, I'm fucked. Like I don't think Thomas Dekker pulled that one off as well. But I did like him. I liked him in this movie. I like Kyle Gardner a lot in this movie. I thought he did a good job being like you can't fall asleep. Whatever it takes to not fall asleep, that's what you do. Like, I'm just going to fucking shove adrenaline into my leg. Fuck it. Like, I'm fine. I appreciated that. I think he did one of the best jobs out of the entirety of the Freddy movies of exemplifying that whole, like, sleep is the enemy. Don't let sleep win. And he did a really good job with that. He has one of the dumbest plot lines ever if he falls asleep while fucking swimming. That doesn't make any sense.
But it goes back to some of the things that we pointed out on some of the other Freddy films. It's like, wait, is Freddy making them fall asleep now? Because the logic is sort of like falling apart because they're falling asleep whilst driving a car.
Well, that does happen.
Yeah, but like not both people. Like not when you have two people in the car at the same time falling asleep and not realizing that the other person's fallen asleep.
Yeah, okay, that's a little bit more rare. But then even like Freddy tries to like explain it with a line of dialogue, like, I've been trying to torture you so that when you finally did fall asleep, you'll never wake up again. It's like, I mean, we've figured that out since the original Nightmare on Elm Street, dude. You don't need to spell it out. Everyone understands.
Like, it looked like he was wanting to keep her in there so he could just play with her forever. But then he was just about to stab her in the chest. So it's like, well, no, that's not what you're going for then. Like, if you're gonna try and set it up to be something even more creepy, like, well, then I wanted to put it so you'll be in a coma with me and you'll be stuck with me forever. Don't then just be like immediately like going to stab her in the chest
and kill her.
Yeah, it's like, well, that's not forever. It's literally not forever. That's like, that's like me holding onto a piece of chocolate and saying, I'm going to hold on to this forever. That's getting eaten in like 30 seconds. Like, 30 seconds at most.
When it comes to the dream sequences, I hate saying it this way, but not having Freddy in so much of it would have done a great service to the dream sequences. Because there's too many times where they'll be getting chased, Freddy will pin them down, do nothing with it.
Yeah.
Say a few sort of nasty lines that don't have any humor or even sense that he's having fun, and then they wake up. It would have worked a lot better if it was almost like I am just having a really bad dream, and now I need to find my way out before Freddy shows up.
Yeah.
But that goes back to also they could have cut a half hour or 45 minutes, and it would have been a better movie for it.
This movie's only an hour 35.
Yeah. There's a finite amount of time you have to be classed as a movie.
I said what I said. I said what I said.
I'm not wrong. That's the
point. Did I say he's not wrong though? There isn't enough in this film. Like I said, it's the longest hour and a half film I've ever watched. Like it got half an hour in, and it felt like I'd been watching it for an hour. I was like, okay, so we're in the last half hour. No, wait, there's still an hour left. So like when you guys were all saying, when you guys were all saying in the chat, it's like I got to a point where I'm like, there's still an hour left. And I started looking at the runtime, going, oh fuck, is this one of these 2 hour, 10-minute fucking remakes where they just wait an hour and a half and they say, oh god, this does not bode well. An hour and a half and they're saying that. Oh my god. Oh.
I think Joel and I hit the exact same moment where we're like, all right, we're almost done with this. Like, this is ramping up a little bit, and fuck.
It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, I was disappointed. That's when the phone came out. That's when Marvel Puzzle Quest started getting its match 3 going on.
but you still didn't feel like you missed anything. That's
Nope.
the kicker about it. I mean, I had my phone in hand for about half of Freddy vs. Jason 2, just because it's like, I know what this is. It's a
You've
nice
seen it,
refresher.
yeah.
It's fun to see these good moments. And this one, it was, what's the point? Like, I am getting the same amount of immersion and value if I've got my phone open playing Retro Bowl with some background, if I would actually sat and watched it.
I have less notes on this film than I had on one episode of The Good Place.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's not. I'm not saying this movie's good. Clearly, that's not a fair comparison. Like, that's that
No,
show
but
is
it's like
so good.
Yeah, but my point is, one episode of The Good Place, 20 minutes. This film, an hour and a half, and then I have less notes on an hour and a half film.
In
I should
those
have
20
more.
minutes, you were trying
I
to
should at
panic
least
write
have
the
more.
entire script of the episode so you can get every single quote because every line is so good. Like, Good Places, that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is the opposite. This is as bad as The Good Place is good. Like,
I guess.
so what else do we want to talk about this wonderful film?
We're
I
only
mean, April
27
O'Neil showed up as the
I know. I'm looking at the
doctor
time.
in
Like, we
hospital.
barely talked. We're out of gas.
27 minutes in. I'm pretty sure 5 or 6 minutes of that were us delaying talking about this. That's the problem with a film like this, though, is that it's boring.
Yeah.
And when something's boring like this, it's hard to squeeze out much meaningful conversation. If a movie's bad they took chances and it fumbled the ball terribly, or like, what were they thinking when they made this movie? This is how bad it is. That's fine. There was effort put into this, and it was aggressively boring. And I don't know what to do with that.
Like,
There was effort put in, but it was also like misguided effort. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like they put too much effort into the wrong places. Like, I'm sitting there watching it, just being like, but I just don't care about any of this. Like,
They focused on a story where they didn't have the storytelling chops to rationalize it, but also it doesn't match up with what usually makes a Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
it's not just that though. It's like, it's not even getting to the sort of the darker story elements. I just didn't care in general. Like, my fourth bullet point, I'm like, this is before Dean's even killed himself. Like, my fourth bullet point is, I really don't care about anything that's going on here. Like, when we're in the diner and there's just all this, like, high school teenager bullshit going on. It's like, we're used to this in these kind of films. They're high schoolers, apparently.
sure.
But
That dude's a fucking linebacker, but yeah, okay.
yeah, but I didn't care. Like,
No.
just none of it was like, there was nothing about any of those scenes in the diner that were like engaging or interesting or doing anything that sets up who the characters were. Because like,
But-
you have it's like set up as like Jesse absolutely despising Dean, and then at his funeral or just after his funeral he says something like, "Oh, he was my friend too." Was he?
I mean, that one didn't bother me too much because, like, the whole, like, the Dean is now with his ex-girlfriend, so of course they're gonna be mad. Like, that one did. I don't know. Here's the thing: is this movie came out the year after the Friday 13th remake, which was also Platinum Dunes.
Also pretty garbagey as well.
Pretty garbagey, but whenever I've revisited it, I still have fun with it. Like, I'm not saying it's a good film. Like, obviously we have, the perfect nipple placement line. We have the ridiculous axe throwing. We have the stupid, like, the Willa Ford, the, like, when she gets stabbed in the head and they do, like, the boob reveal out of the water. Like, very cheesy, very awful moments. But while you're watching it, you still feel like you're going to a Friday the 13th party. It's not way over obsessed with trying to recreate the original, although it does in the opening credits. But after that, it does its own thing. It's a Jason movie through and through. It has a pretty solid Jason. That's one with Derek Mears in it, right?
Yes.
The cast is like annoying, but in the way that you want them to be in a Friday the 13th movie where you like the final girl, at least who you think is the final girl movie, the final girl until she gets fucking killed, and then the girl from the beginning becomes the final girl again, but whatever. But it was still enough of like, I didn't love the movie. In fact, when I walked out, I didn't really like it that much, but it still felt like I went to go see a Jason film. Like, this is kind of what I expect from a shitty remake of a Jason film. This is also around the time the Platinum Dudes did the, I'm wearing a shirt for one of them right now, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. Again, not a good film. It was largely way too corny. The violence, they just didn't understand it. The chainsaw was more of a lightsaber than it was a chainsaw. Like, it just nicks limbs. The limbs just go flying off like it was nothing. Not a great film, but it still felt like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, like you'd expect a shitty remake to feel. Mm-hmm. So Platinum Dunes has a bad record, but at least you know you're going to be entertained for the hour and a half you're sitting down. It's going to feel familiar. It's going to be what you want. You're going to leave going like, well, that was a waste of an hour and a half, but I've done worse things with an hour and a half, and at least I got to see the characters I liked. And then this one came out, and what the fuck? Like, it doesn't feel like a Freddy movie. It's way meaner than Freddy movies, and not in a way that's fun. Like when we go to like the remakes of Halloween with like the Rob Zombie, they were mean, but it was still kind of a fun remake in like its own, like the whole world is mean, so this works. This doesn't have that. It's just Freddy, and he's so mean that you don't want to engage anymore. You don't want him on screen. You're not rooting for his demise. You're just rooting for the movie to end. That's not where you want to be, and that's unfortunately where I think this kind of killed a lot of remakes and a lot of sequels for remakes, because like this thing was so bad. They're like, all right, shut it down. And we haven't had a Jason movie since that remake. We haven't had a Freddy movie since this remake. Like this really killed a lot of stuff. There wasn't another Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie for a very long time, but it actually got some sequels. And then it got a new remake. I think it was on Netflix a couple years back. That was actually pretty decent. It wasn't great, but it was pretty decent.
This was the nail in the coffin for me, ever considering watching another one of the movies in this series. Because I've got in my head what I think makes a good movie in this series. But it's clear everybody else who made a movie in this series also had different varying ideas of what they think it's important to have in a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. And this one is clearly the person who made this movie is very disturbed and not in a way that lends itself well to good storytelling or compelling characters. It's just a level of nastiness that, yeah, you just want to turn it off. There's nothing compelling. There's nothing redeeming about it. There's nothing in this film that people should spend their time watching.
I think we said this on maybe the Halloween remake. Mean-spirited is the way
the
that
Rob Zombie one.
Like, yeah, like that was very mean-spirited, and this is worse.
It's worse.
This is more mean-spirited. This is like mean-spirited, but like to an extreme degree as well. And like there's just something about this that just leaves me feeling icky as well. Like I feel like I need to have a shower after watching it.
Yeah,
it's a really dim view of people in general, and like I said, somebody affects themselves way too much on the child abuse aspect of it.
Yeah,
and mining
the vigilante aspect doesn't make sense in this one as well, because you can understand and sort of sympathize with the parents in the first film, because in the first film he was arrested, he went to trial, a fuck up in evidence collection, and he walked free. In this one, it's just immediately, well, we're gonna take the law into our own hands. Like they knew he was guilty in the first film. Like it was all the evidence was there. He was 100% guilty, but he got off on a technicality. In this one, it's literally just like pitchforks at dawn. Oh, the kids have said that. Oh well, let's just go burn him alive then.
To my original point, would have made the movie better had he not done it. Then suddenly we have an interesting film. Suddenly that meanness is gone, or it's explained. Like a lot of it works. Like I think it works in the Rob Zombie films because that's the entire world. The entire world is mean-spirited and gross and awful. So you can kind of this is what I'm watching. It's much more targeted here. Like it's just Freddy and the things around Freddy, and it just kind of makes everything, it's imbalanced, and it just doesn't make you enjoy things. This director, I remember my wife telling me, and I don't want to say too much here, but she was telling me a story, when they're on set, he really wanted to recreate a shot out of The Descent. That was his main thing. He loved The Descent. He thought The Descent was a great film, so he wanted to take a moment in this movie and make the descent happen. During principal photography, they never got to it. So my wife only worked on principal photography. When they did reshoots, that scene in the house where she's walking through the mud and then falls through, and the shot of her coming out of the mud with all the shit on her straight out of the descent. And I'm watching the movie in theaters she was my girlfriend then, but my wife now, and she's like, he got his shot. How about that? Like, he pulled it off. I was like, did it add anything to the movie? No. You just copied something from a far better film. The Descent is fucking brilliant.
That's got nothing to do with the Friday the 13th style film as well.
Not
like,
yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Like, see, even now, I am past the point.
Your brain's trying to pull you into a better franchise.
Yeah, it really is. And like talking, like this is a good segue of like one of the things that I wanted to bring up, like just talking about like the shot as it was. I don't like how this film's shot. I don't like the color palette is just really weird. It's very yellow and just green, and it feels sweaty. But it's
that's Platinum Dunes. That was their brand.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I get it for the Friday the 13th film because they're in the woods and it looks humid. It looks sweaty.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre makes sense. It's Texas.
Yeah,
everything is humid and sweaty. That tracks.
This is like Middle America, just
like
suburbanite thing.
It's Ohio.
wherever the hell it's actually supposed to be, though. It's not like high humidity. Oh, look, it's like sweaty summer. It's so hot and disgusting here. It's just supposed to be like a regular place, but it just feels humid and sweaty, and I do not like it. It doesn't work for this film. And like, using the excuse of like, oh, well, that's Platinum Dunes, that's how they shoot their films. Well, then they should only shoot films that are set in sweaty environments then.
There's reasons people don't like Platinum Dunes. Like that, they're very good reasons. Like that was one of them. Every movie had that weird sweaty glint to it. It's like, why is this here? What does this add to this movie?
Yeah.
Nothing. Like, it's just kind of gross. I mean,
it's distracting more than anything. Because you're just sitting there thinking, like, why is it so fucking yellow? Like, why?
And
why does it look like we're in the middle of, like, bumfuck nowhere or something? But it's actually a freaking suburban city in the middle of not bumfuck middle of nowhere.
And what's usually the case with films like this, which is unfortunate, is they hire very talented people. Very, very talented people who are rather young in their careers, but have very good ideas, and they get steamrolled by producers. So, like, my wife has shown me a lot of the original, like, set designs after the movie came out, so I could kind of see what they're going for, and they looked really nice. I think the production design probably did a very good job making these sets look dreamlike and weird. Like, I got to see the school set and like that stuff. It looked great on paper, and then in actuality, they didn't really show a lot of it. They cut around it. They didn't really showcase all that work went into it because they don't know how to use the talent they have, that's usually a problem, like in general in horror movies, because I think a lot of like some of the best talent comes out of horror. But when you're young and you're starting out, you're not really sure how to showcase that the best way possible. Like my best example right now is my favorite movie from this year. So if you have seen The Substance, they know how to showcase all the work that everyone's doing at the right time. Like, there's sets that look incredible. There's areas where the sound design works incredible. There's certain performance, certain camera shots, but it's never like shining a light on it. The movie's just being the movie, but you can still see the work people did, and it's seamless and it's great. But that's a much, much better filmmaker. Obviously, my favorite movie of the year, so it's got to be at least somewhat good, right? But then you go back to something like this, and it's just a fucking mess. And no matter how talented some of these people are, like I said, this cast was a huge list of up-and-coming actors who have largely not done a ton, but they're still very, very talented people, especially at that time, and they didn't let them do anything. Kyle Garner was fine. I wanted to say John Connor, but sure, John Connor, he was fine, like the stuff he had to do, but it just, they didn't know how to use it, and they didn't know how to showcase it, and that's, it's a bummer.
It's like Rooney Mara, very good actress.
Great actress.
Fine.
Yeah. Steve Jablonsky did the music. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love Steve.
He's like, when I saw Steve Jablonsky as the composer come up, I was like, oh, this is good. At least it's gonna have good music. And then for the most part, I'm sitting there going, well, this is the music. Like, all I can hear him going just wah.
Yeah, like,
wah.
He's one of my favorite composers. He's amazing. He's very, very good and an incredibly nice guy. But they didn't really let his music show. Like, so I don't blame him for the score. I blame the producers and the director. Like, it was just. The ball was fumbled at every opportunity to fumble a ball. and it's beyond frustrating. It just makes it a very unfun movie to watch.
There's films out there where you get like there's certain talent that gets involved, and like I go to this with composers a lot because I listen to film scores, and I will listen to film scores of films that I've never seen, and then sometimes I will like love the music so much I'm like, oh, maybe I'll go watch the film, and then the film turns out to be absolute garbage, and it's just like you will sometimes have a composer working on a film where the film doesn't deserve them, and it doesn't deserve the score that they're actually creating, because the score is far and away way too good for the piece of shit that it's in. With this film, they had a composer who is extremely talented, and then they stuck him in a box and said, make some, like, you know, noises every now and again. Like, it just feels like whatever creativity he had to bring into the project, they were just like, nah, we don't care, just make some noises. And I think, like, you know, Platinum Dunes is Michael Bay's company, right?
Yes.
And so, like, Steve Jablonsky was, like, you know, at the time, very big for the Transformers films. And it kind of feels like this was a Michael Bay thing going, oh, Steve, do you want to compose the music for this film? We want you to do this, and this only, though. And then just like, yeah, all right, I guess I'll take a paycheck.
I mean, because he also did the music for the remake of Friday the 13th, and that was good. Like, he did a good job with that. He took the old score, made it his own thing. Like, he did a very good job with that. I mean, he's done a ton of work for Michael Bay and Peter Berg. Like, those are his two, like, cash cows. But, like, you watch those movies, they have good scores. Like, he writes good shit. He writes it for for good action sequences. He's a very, very talented composer. And yet again, just completely underused. Just brutally underused. I'm running out of gas on things I want to talk about with this movie. I know we haven't been talking very long. It's kind of two short ones in a row. But is there anything that we missed? We need to talk
April
about...
O'Neil. She was in the film.
She was? Who shooted it?
She was the doctor in the hospital. The original April O'Neil from the first Teenage Mutant Ninja film.
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film was in the film. And that was one of those things where it's like, again, I was paying attention so much, like, it was like, is that April O'Neil? Oh, it is. Oh, I wonder what happened to her. I ain't seen her in a lot of things. So then I ended up like spending like 5 minutes on IMDb whilst the film played out, just having a look at her filmography.
I did the same thing with Connie Britton because I was a big fan of American Horror Story, and she's in the first season of that, and she's great. And I was like, seeing her be the mom here, I'm like, why don't we see more Connie Britton? Connie Britton's great. I really like her.
I think the first thing I remember seeing her in was season 5 of 24 was the first thing I saw her in.
Okay, she's good. Like, and I always thought she was a good actor. And then I'm just kind of going through her IMDb. I'm like, oh, she's still working. I just don't watch the stuff she's in. Okay, well, good for her. I'm glad she's still working. And then I'm like, oh wait, what's going on in this movie again? I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, there's so much in this film. Like, I started getting really kind of like bored with trying to have a bit of fun with the notes. And even then, with that, I gave up after because there was nothing to do with it. But like, I just saw a note here: computer entering sleep mode. Is Freddy gonna kill the computer now? And just
honestly, I kind of love that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. My computer died. Oh, it went into sleep mode.
Yeah,
that actually would have been pretty
good. That would have actually elevated it.
Yeah,
and it's just taking speed with a Red Bull, super great for your health.
I did like that. This is during that time where they could not get Google on screen, so they all had to come up with like their own fake search engines.
I did wonder that because there was that weird fucking web
Gigablast.
Gigablast, yeah, and it was
Gigablast.
Like, why not just have Google? Like, everyone uses Google. Why are you not just showing Google?
No, this is still during the time when no one was paying Google, so everyone had to create their own. This one got Gigablast. When you search, you hit blast off. I'm like, that's funny. I'm trying to think if I had anything else. Not really.
I don't know, but the sad part is I feel like we've been pretty charitable about this movie.
I don't think we have. We've been pretty mean.
I mean, we found.
I think Joel means in context of how bad the film is, we've been charitable. Like, we have been really mean to this film, but the film deserves worse.
Listen, if we just wanted to sit here and just be mean the whole time, I don't think we'd make a very good podcast. I could have done that. I'm just trying to be more entertaining for the people watching, because otherwise it's just like, fuck it, done. Quotes and we're out.
You guys have quotes for this film?
I actually have two
I mean,
quotes.
yeah.
I have, you know what? Here, I'll give them both because they're both from the same scene.
Yeah, I got to the point where I was like, I just didn't care at that point. I was like, I just want this to be over. I'm not even bothering with quotes. Nothing was memorable in this for me.
There's two bad guy lines that in a better movie would have been awesome. So I still wrote them down because they're very well written lines, and Jackie Earle Haley did a pretty good job delivering them. They're both from the same moment though, so I'm just going to give you both. Why are you screaming? I haven't even cut you yet. Mm-hmm. It's a good line.
Okay, I do vaguely remember that.
That's a good line. Yeah. And then the other one, which is a little bit more word salad-y, but I still enjoy it, was, did you know that after the heart stops beating, the brain keeps functioning for 7 minutes? We've still got 6 minutes to play.
Yep.
Damn good bad guy line. In a horrible movie, but out of context, like, that's a good villain line. Like, hey, you're dead, but I'm going to make your last few minutes fucking suck. Like, that was a good line. Terrible movie. That's it. That's all I got.
For me, it's Jesse and Freddy, and he's sort of yelling, "Oh God!" and Freddy goes, "No, just me." And you know, it again in a better movie, the sort of expressive like yelling, "Oh God!" is the last resort of somebody who is truly desperate, right?
Yeah.
And then just have him stuff it out like that moments later. Could have been.
Well,
good.
they're either desperate or they're having sex.
That could be desperate too.
It could be. Could be. So Matt, do you have anything? Do you have anything you want to try to pass off as a quote? This is the first episode of Binge Buddies where Matt doesn't have a quote.
I didn't care at any point. Like, it just got to the point where it's just the words were coming out of their mouths, and I was just like, yeah, just get on with it. Like, I was so done. Like, there was just so much of it as well where it was just like, oh, you're just reusing lines from the original film. Like, the attempt to, I'm your boyfriend now. It's like, no, it doesn't work. That's not good. You know,
something else from the original film, I just got to bring it up. In the original film, we have the famous bathtub scene where she starts dozing in the bathtub.
They redo that for like 3 seconds.
And the club comes out, and then she gets pulled under, and it's like, now it's a nightmare, and you're in a tub, and it's like, it took what was a very pervy, she's so vulnerable right now, his hands in between her legs, she's a teenager in a tub, and then when he pulls her underwater, all the perviness goes away. That was just, oh, this is just the opportunity to kill her. Yes, that's why you were so on edge, but now it's happening. It's masterful filmmaking. In here, that side doesn't happen, so it's just between her legs, and you took something that's like a classic, very good moment and just made it fucking gross.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm annoyed. I just saw that in my notes.
This is the thing of, like, you know, it's they do a lot of this. They just basically redo a lot of the stuff from the original film and like a couple of.
But just to tick off a box, not to actually do anything with it.
To tick off a box, not to do anything with it, but also they just do it really badly. Like, they have the body bag, but just like, it doesn't add anything to it. They're literally walking down the corridor. She looks over. She sees the body bag. It disappears, and then just... You might as well just shrug your shoulders and go,
well, it's like punches in her face, and it's like, less is more, motherfucker. Like, come on.
they try to do the how, but they don't understand the why.
There you go. Yeah. That's a good review for the entire film.
Yeah.
All right, so Matt's skipping quotes this week, which means we're done. We have finished Nightmare on Elm Street. We have finished the top 3. As I wrote,
was the 3 that were a top?
I meant like Michael, Freddy, and Jason. We've
right.
finished the unholy trilogy. We've seen them all. My review to everybody, I'm going to say here after I finished it, was we should have watched Chucky.
Hey, at least we got to see part 3. Like,
that's true.
The ones of us who had not seen the third film, we got to see that, because like I went into this only having watched the first film and Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah,
I am glad. Just goes to show how good part 3 is. The fact that I'm fine to have sat through 7 other garbage films to have come away and having watched part 3, because I don't think it's one of those things I wouldn't have really necessarily gone out and seeked it out myself.
No.
Like, it got to the point in my life where it's like, I've seen the first one. It's like, yeah, I enjoyed that. I think it was pretty good. Am I that bothered about going to the sequels? Not really. Like, I don't know how you continue that.
I'll throw out, I'm glad I saw 2. I know 2's not a great film, but like just for the like the social experiment and like the thought process of it and like what that means to such a large group of people, I'm glad I revisited that one. Like that is a fun watch from that angle. Even if it's not a great film, there is that conversation with it that I find fascinating.
I think
still
the first
in the
4 films, there's something there in all
Yeah.
of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, with the second one, there's something there. They had something. They didn't execute it very well, but there was something. There was something of substance in those films, and then it got to the point
Substance, you say?
Ba-dum-dum-ch.
It's a great movie. You should watch it.
By part 5, though, there's nothing. And they just, for the rest of the series, there was just kind of nothing. Like, even part 7, which people, like, you know, really like, there's still not really much there.
I like 7. I think I'll walk away from this liking 7. But I honestly, I mean, we'll find out hopefully next week when we do the wrap-up. We're going to see, because it's the holidays and scheduling can be a bitch. But that, Freddy vs. Jason might top 7 for me. But I'm also very biased. I like Jason a lot, so... It's
very up in the air with me, because, like, on the one hand, I can appreciate 7 for what it is. It did something different. It was very meta. But on the other hand, it was too long, and I was kind of bored by the end of it as well. And I think that is the problem with this series, is for the most part, I end up just bored. Yeah.
I fell asleep in almost all of them, and I've never done that for any series that we've covered. But there's a very real possibility that when we get to my ranking, it's like 3-1 Freddy versus Jason. Very, very real possibility. We'll see how it happens when I actually like kind of lay them all out and take a look at them. But it's like, that might happen. It might be a Freddy vs. Jason and then 7, and Ryan will be very, very upset.
This might be the... Oh, no, never mind. I was just going to say this might be the first series where the first one is not number 1 for me, but we've already done that with Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Friday the 13th. And then me for Terminator. Like, I like Terminator 2 more than that. And I think Fast and Furious, I don't think any of us had part 1 as number 1.
I was meaning more the horror ones.
Oh, for the horror ones, sure.
Yeah.
All right, I think we've done it. I'm excited for the wrap-up. We're going to try our best to get the wrap-up done this year. There is a possibility where it doesn't happen until we record again in January, where we'll have to look back at all of our notes and go like, oh, that was a rough few weeks. But, which is also unfortunate because we were going to try to start Die Hard before the holidays so we could have it out for Christmas, but timing just didn't work out. But we're still going to do Die Hard next. I'm still excited for most of that.
I am.
This is worse than anything we watched in what we'll watch in the Die Hard movies, so at least there's that. We found a bottom.
Is it?
What are you comparing it to, Matt? Like,
so-called Die Hard 5.
Yeah, that one's real bad. But it does have Jai Courtney in it, but I have not watched it since I've come around on Jai Courtney, so maybe I'll like it a little more this time.
And maybe? I guess it is short as well, that one.
It's very short. It had a couple good action sequences in it, if I remember correctly. We'll see. It's still going to be the worst of the bunch, but I think it'll be better than the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. At least I hope. We'll do
that's a fair point, actually. There's not going to be... Like, if we find a film that's worse than the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, I will be shocked.
Listen, I still kind of want to do the Leprechaun franchise at some point, which I think
that's going to be in the whole category of so bad it's good.
That's true. Every single one of them will be worse than this, but way more fun to watch.
Yeah, exactly. None of them are. You're not going to end up like going away with that just feeling icky and feeling like you need to have a shower. Because
Leprechaun in the Hood 2 might get you there, but we'll see. We'll see if we ever do it.
Did you say all of them? Did you say Leprechaun in the Hood 2?
2, yes. Yeah, you heard me right.
Okay.
Joel's now like, I don't know if I want to watch this.
Joel might have just confirmed that. He might have just confirmed that it's definitely happening.
I kind of feel like I have to watch it at this point. So
I agree. Maybe after what's Evil Dead? Maybe after Evil Dead. That's coming up in our future. Maybe we'll do a Leprechaun movie. Hey, Jennifer Aniston got her start there. You know, there's something there. And everyone loves Warwick Davis. He's great in all of them. Just saying it's a possibility. A very likely possibility. Has a remake too. That one's just as bad as this one. I'm feeling it. It's feeling good. Maybe in 2025. We'll see.
Is it as icky though?
No, it's not as bad. I thought
There you go.
it is as boring though, because I've never finished it. I've watched it maybe half an hour. But if we do it for this show, I'll have to finish it. So there's those movies are fucking ridiculous. I kind of just want to watch. Maybe I'll watch one of them tonight. I told my wife we'd start watching Penguin tonight. I'll just put on Leprechaun instead.
Penguins, leprechauns, what's the difference, really?
Same difference. I mean, they're both ugly little things. There we go.
You know, every marriage needs a good stress test every now and then.
I mean, I feel
when you
like
put it
your
like that, I feel like I
marriage
shouldn't do this.
I feel like your marriage's stress test is just this podcast, though, Joel. Like, I think we just keep putting you like more and more stress tests on your marriage.
Kelly's a very patient woman.
Good job.
All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening. We're going to kind of skip plugs this week. Listen to last week if you want to hear our plugs. And I'm going to say bye. And hopefully we'll see you again this year. And that episode will actually come with a video component as well, because I'm actually recording these videos. These might hit YouTube at some point on their own. But yeah, hopefully that one, we might even stream it. Who knows? We might go nuts. We'll figure it out. But
We haven't got nuts. We did these films.
Yeah, it was a good idea at the time. Good idea at the time.
So it was a lot of things.
All right, bye.